The blood on our hands is not merely metaphorical. It's the blood of meaning, the pulse of certainty, the last breath of an eternal anchor we once called God. But now, in the silence after his death, something deeper, darker, and more demanding begins to whisper. You feel it, don't you? That hollow hum behind modern life, that nagging question behind every scroll, every transaction, every accomplishment. Something is missing. Something is off. And Nietzsche, cold, brilliant, merciless Nietzsche, tried to tell us what it was. We didn't listen. He warned that if we kill God, we don't become free. We become lost, untethered. Because God wasn't just a being in the sky. God was a structure, a foundation, a mirror. And when you shatter a mirror, you don't just break the reflection, you destroy the identity it held. So what happens when you kill God? Let's begin. In a world spiraling with distractions and digital gods, Nietzsche's scream echoes louder than ever. He didn't celebrate the death of God. He feared it. He saw what it would do to us, how we would replace eternal purpose with temporary pleasure, principles with preferences, meaning with memes. He knew we'd drown in our freedom, because freedom without form is chaos, and chaos doesn't liberate, it devours. We thought we killed God and became gods ourselves, but instead we became orphans of the universe, children lost in time, haunted by our own ambition. We've replaced temples with algorithms, prayer with pornography, discipline with dopamine. And what did we get? More anxiety, more loneliness, more confusion. Nietzsche predicted a crisis of meaning, not just in churches, but in homes, schools, governments, souls. The 21st century isn't post-religious, it's starving for religion. Not necessarily for a man in the sky, but for structure, myth, transcendence, awe, something bigger. But wait, what if Nietzsche wasn't just mourning the death of God? What if he was daring us to become something greater? Because here's where it gets terrifying and beautiful. Nietzsche didn't stop at despair. No, he dared us to build, to forge meaning in a meaningless world, to become creators, not consumers, gods, not beggars. He gave us the Übermensch, not a dictator, not a tyrant, but a man who dances on the edge of the abyss and doesn't flinch. A man who stares into chaos and carves order, who bleeds purpose, who doesn't need permission from heaven or validation from earth. This is who you must become. But the journey is brutal, because first, you must suffer. You must destroy your comfort, your lies, your borrowed beliefs. You must question everything, especially the parts of yourself that you hide in silence. Nietzsche once said, to live is to suffer, to survive is to find some meaning in the suffering. And that's where transformation begins. But the path is narrow, and most will avoid it. You'll see them numb on TikTok, chasing trends, worshipping mediocrity. They are the herd, the last men, the ones Nietzsche pitied, content with comfort, allergic to greatness. They live long but never live. Are you one of them? Because the Übermensch isn't some comic book fantasy, it's a call to arms. It's you, stripped of excuses, face to face with what you could become, and what you must kill to get there. You must kill fear, you must kill weakness, you must even kill parts of yourself you thought were good, but were only safe. And above all, you must stand alone, because that's the price of becoming godlike. Solitude. Nietzsche wrote, "He who cannot obey himself will be commanded." That is the nature of living creatures. You will either be ruled by your own inner law or by the outer noise. There is no middle ground. This is what the death of God reveals, not freedom, but responsibility. Terrifying, total responsibility for your life, your values, your soul. So stop asking for answers. Start building them. Stop begging for meaning. Create it. Be dangerous. Be disciplined. Be poetic. Be unstoppable. The world doesn't need more victims. It needs creators of value. That's what Nietzsche saw in the void. Not hopelessness, but raw, blinding opportunity. A blank canvas for gods. But here's the twist most people miss. Nietzsche didn't think everyone should become an Übermensch. Only the brave, only the few, only those willing to die and resurrect, not in the flesh, but in the spirit. You must die before you die. Die to old identities, die to comfort, die to the shallow version of you that still clings to approval. Because only then can something greater rise. You think this is just a video? This is a funeral for your former self, and a birth for the part of you that was waiting to be unleashed. So ask yourself now, who will you be in a godless world? Because something will fill the void, always. If not God, then money. If not meaning, then distraction. If not purpose, then power. So what's filling your void? What lies are you living? And more importantly, what truth are you too afraid to confront? Nietzsche believed most people don't want the truth. They want a comfortable illusion because truth, real truth, burns. It doesn't tuck you in, it tears you open. It shows you your chains and asks why you still wear them. This is your moment. You can either turn this off and go back to scrolling, or you can make a choice right now that splits your life in two, before this moment and after. Because if God is dead, then you must become the author. Write your myth, speak your truth, burn your past, forge your future. Don't wait for a savior, be your own resurrection. The abyss is staring back, not to destroy you, but to challenge you. The gods are gone. What will you build in their place? If this struck something in you, if you felt that twinge of awakening, don't let it die in silence. Comment below. Tell me what you're going to destroy and what you're going to create. Like this video if it made your soul burn. Share it with someone who's still asleep, and subscribe because this isn't the end, it's just the beginning. This is what happens when you kill God. Now, show the world what happens next.